The graveyard whisperer Lily was drawn to the old graveyard, finding solace among the crumbling headstones. One night she discovered a grave marked, Alara, Keeper of Secrets. When she touched the stone, a chilling whisper urged her to help. Compelled, she dug up a small ornate box containing a shimmering necklace. As she lifted it, the ground trembled, and Alara's ghostly form emerged, her hollow eyes filled with darkness. "Now, you will keep my secrets," she said, and shadows twisted around Lily, grasping at her legs. In a panic, Lily fled, the whispers pursuing her into the night. But the necklace remained in her grasp, a haunting reminder. Every night, the whispers call her back, and she knows she'll never escape the graveyard or the dark promise that binds her to Alara. The graveyard whisperer Lily was drawn to the old graveyard, finding solace among the crumbling headstones. One night she discovered a grave marked, Alara, Keeper of Secrets. When she touched the stone, a chilling whisper urged her to help. Compelled, she dug up a small ornate box containing a shimmering necklace. As she lifted it, the ground trembled, and Alara's ghostly form emerged, her hollow eyes filled with darkness. "Now, you will keep my secrets," she said, and shadows twisted around Lily, grasping at her legs. In a panic, Lily fled, the whispers pursuing her into the night. But the necklace remained in her grasp, a haunting reminder. Every night, the whispers call her back, and she knows she'll never escape the graveyard or the dark promise that binds her to Alara.
The echoes of Black Hollow. In the abandoned town of Black Hollow, an old radio station operated with a few loyal listeners. One stormy night, when the DJ Frank failed to show up, intern Lily took over. Mid-broadcast, static interrupted her, revealing a desperate voice pleading, "Help us. Trapped." Intrigued, she found an old tape labeled The Final Call, recorded by a group of teens who had vanished while exploring the nearby asylum. Their laughter turned to screams as they described shadowy figures and a suffocating dread. As the power flickered, the voices intensified, urging her to help them. Compelled, she ventured into the asylum, where shadows writhed and whispers pulled her deeper. In the heart of the building, she discovered a radio broadcasting their cries. "Turn it off, or we're trapped forever." Panicking, she switched it off, and silence fell. But then, shadows coalesced into tormented forms, their faces twisted in anguish. Realizing her mistake, she fled back to the station, only to find Frank terrified. The radio crackled back, title, The Last Message. In a small town, a young woman named Sarah discovers an old, dusty phone in her attic. Curious, she turns it on and finds one unread message from a number she doesn't recognize. "Help me." Intrigued, she replies, asking who it is. Moments later, the phone buzzes. "I'm trapped. Find me before it's too late." Ignoring her growing unease, she follows the clues in the messages. They lead her to an abandoned house on the edge of town. The air is heavy with silence as she steps inside, the floor creaking beneath her feet. As she explores, the phone buzzes again. "You're getting close. Hurry." Heart racing, she finds a hidden door in the basement. Behind it, a dark room filled with old furniture and a single flickering light. As she steps in, the light dies, plunging her into darkness. Suddenly, the phone vibrates violently. Turn around, she spins, only to see a shadowy figure in the corner. "You shouldn't have come." The phone goes dead, and
A few months ago, a friend of mine, who is an up-and-coming nature photographer, decided to spend a day and night alone in the woods outside of our town. She wanted to get photos of the woods and wildlife as naturally as she could for her portfolio. She wasn't afraid of being alone, as she had camped by herself many times before. She set up a tent in the middle of a small clearing and spent the day taking pictures. She filled up 4 rolls of film on that trip, but something was strange about them. What she saw in those pictures has stayed with her ever since, and she is still trying to recover from the trauma that has caused her. Almost every picture was accounted for, save for one picture in each roll of film. These pictures were of her, asleep in her tent in the middle of the night.
once in a quiet town, there lived a little girl named Lily, who loved to explore the woods behind her house. One evening, as the sun set, she ventured deeper than ever before. The trees grew thicker, and a strange fog began to roll in. Suddenly, she stumbled upon an old, dilapidated cabin. The door creaked open as if inviting her inside. Curiosity getting the best of her, Lily stepped in. The air was stale, and cobwebs draped the corners. In the center of the room stood a dusty mirror, reflecting not just her image but something behind her, a shadowy figure. Lily turned, but there was nothing there. She approached the mirror, her heart racing, and as she peered closer, the figure began to take shape. It was a girl, her eyes wide with terror, mouthing silent words. Lily pressed her palm against the glass, and the moment their skin touched, the mirror rippled like water. In an instant, the cabin was engulfed in darkness. Lily felt a cold hand grasp the shuttered eyes. In the misty village of Eldergrove, the inhabitants sealed their windows and doors every autumn full moon, fearing the arrival of the eyes. Maya, a curious traveler, dismissed their warnings and stayed overnight, intrigued by their customs. As midnight approached, an eerie silence fell over the town. Peering out her window, Maya felt a chilling presence. A pale figure with black pit-like eyes lurked in the shadows. Ignoring her instincts, she opened the window, lured by its seductive whispers. "You've invited us in," it hissed, revealing jagged teeth. The eyes were not just monsters. They were the trapped souls of villagers who had succumbed to their own curiosity. Panic surged within her as the creature lunged. Grabbing a candle, she lit it, its flame pushing back the darkness. "You won't take me," she shouted, determination fueling her. The figure writhed in pain as the light grew brighter, its whispers turning to anguished screams. In a final burst, it shattered, leaving Maya gasping in silence. As dawn broke, the lantern's glow. In a small coastal town, there was a lighthouse long abandoned. They said it was haunted by the spirit of a keeper who vanished one foggy night, leaving only his lantern behind. Locals warned children never to venture near, especially as night fell. One curious girl, Emma, decided to explore it after hearing the stories. On a moonlit night, she made her way to the lighthouse, the air thick with mist. As she approached, the door creaked open as if inviting her in. Inside, the air was cold and musty. She found the lantern resting on a table, its glass cracked but still glowing with a faint light. Entranced, Emma picked it up, and as she did, the room filled with a chilling breeze. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the shadows. "Help me find my way home." Emma froze, realizing she was not alone. The ghostly figure of the keeper appeared, his eyes hollow and pleading. Without thinking, she asked how she could help. "The light must shine, the Whispering Pines." In a small town, legends spoke of the Whispering Pines, a cursed grove that lured the curious into its depths. One autumn evening, friends Maya, Jake, and Leah decided to explore it, dismissing the warnings. As they entered, an unnatural silence enveloped them. Soon, they heard whispers calling their names, growing louder and more sinister, echoing their deepest fears. Maya, drawn by the sound, led them deeper into the grove. In a clearing stood a gnarled tree, its roots snaking around them. The whispers intensified, becoming taunts that laid bare their insecurities. In a moment of desperation, Leah recalled the legends and began to confess her guilt over her brother's death. As she spoke, the tree writhed in pain, and the roots loosened their grip. Encouraged, Maya and Jake shared their fears, weakening the grove's hold. Finally, with a shout, Maya confessed her fear of loneliness. The tree convulsed, and in a flash, they were thrown back to the edge of the woods. Though they escaped, their reflections, in the small peaceful town of Moorcroft, a chilling tale unraveled. Following a tragic accident, a grieving man, Eddie, started receiving calls from his deceased wife, Alice. At first, what seemed like a comforting delusion turned into a disconcerting situation. Like clockwork, each evening as sun turned into a melancholic twilight, Alice's familiar ringtone echoed through their once lively home. Her voice, soothing like a lullaby yet hollow as an echo, passed through the line. She shared snippets of their yesteryears, their shared dreams, and the having of their first dance. Day by day, however, Alice's conversations took a sinister turn, leaving Eddie drenched in cold dread. She began alluding to the circumstances of her death, talks of grim shadows tailing her before the accident, and cryptic whispers in the middle of the night. She warned Eddie of the Midnight Caller, an entity from the afterlife making its way to claim the living. Each phone call from Alice grew increasingly eerie and sporadically scarred with her spine-chilling screams. The midnight air, Sarah's hands trembled as she held the outdated mobile phone, flecks of dust tickling her nose, the glow illuminating the decrepit abandoned cabin. "Don't come here. It's not me anymore." Lily's latest text echoed in her mind as her gaze flicked to the corners of the room, which were swallowed by darkness. Her heart pounded rhythmically against her ribcage, filling her ears with the frantic beat, almost deafening her to the soft, distorted voice that filled the room. "Help me." Suddenly, a cold breeze prickled her skin as she spun around to meet the figure. It was Lily, or so it seemed. Her face was ashen, eyes hollow and unrecognizable, a parody of the friend she so desperately sought. Paralyzed with fear, Sarah was helpless as her best friend lunged at her. An agonized wail echoed around the cabin, simultaneously filled with torment and malevolence. For a terrifying moment, time seemed to slow down, only to be jolted back as Sarah's phone buzzed again in her pocket. "Now it's your."
In the heart of the sleepless city, Mia, a young artist carrying dreams as vibrant as her palette, faced a sea of rejections. Each one stabbed her spirit, slowly draining her ardor for the arts. Then came a serendipitous encounter on a rainy evening. At the half-empty train station, against the rhythm of drops hitting the platform, she found an elderly man, drawing tranquility amidst the chaos. She admired his sketches, seeing in them a source of wisdom. "Rejections are but stepping stones on the path to greatness," he told her, his eyes twinkling with determination. "Persistence defines success. Do not let the world smother your gift. Keep creating." His words, simple yet profound, sparked a renewed zeal in Mia's heart. As days turned to weeks, she dived back into her art, pouring her struggles, her frustrations, but also her newfound hope into her creations. Her masterpiece, pieced together from the shards of her resilience, garnered attention. A local gallery invited Mia to present her work, a triumphant beginning she had.
Underneath the silver glow of a full moon, the haunted house on Winter Street stood in eerie silence, its dark windows staring vacantly onto the deserted road. Lily, a young girl known for her unshakable courage, found herself standing before its ominous wooden door, her heart filled with curiosity and an unexplainable fear. With a shaky hand, she pushed the door open, her flashlight serving as her only source of light against the haunting darkness. As the door creaked shut behind her, the air instantly thickened, casting an ethereal presence around her. Flickering shadows swarmed the walls, whispering her name in an eerie chorus. Suddenly, the temperature dropped and a spectral voice echoed from the darkness. "Stay with me." Lily turned in a panic towards the door, only to find it abruptly slam shut, the echo of its thud reverberating hauntingly. The whispers began to swell, a melancholic symphony of lost souls pleading for freedom. Amid her rising terror, the flashlight flickered, revealing an apparition lurking in the shadows.
The lost house stands on the outskirts, a haunting skeletal reminder in the glow of the moonlight. Years of decay have only added to its chilling allure. Many travelers have seen strange flickering lights through its dusty windows. Tonight, curiosity got the better of Sam, a wayfaring civilian who could not resist the call of the unknown. As Sam ventured into the house, the door creaked shut behind him, seemingly on its own. The eerie silence was unbearable, only broken by his own heavy breath and weary footsteps echoing through the desolate corridors. He followed the ethereal glow that shone through the floorboards from beneath. A soft, rhythmic, pulsating light beckoned Sam, the final staircase landing, down towards an ancient, iron-bound door. As he pushed it open, the spectral illumination exploded into a luminescent spectacle. Floating lights, like ghostly fireflies, danced in the air. Sam reached out to touch one, and immediately a searing pain shot through him. His vision blurred, his head pounding with unbearable intensity. When he came to,